Today's video is about fishing, so if you've got questions, I've got answers. There are 5 different types of fish that you can catch in Tower Unite, being the small, large, rare, item, and rare item fish. So how exactly do we go about catching these fish? Well, for starters, we need to purchase a fishing pole. You can purchase a fishing pole at the Gone Fishing Bait Shop. There are 2 of these bait shops, one of them located here behind the game arena, and the other one located by the Poseidon roller coaster. Fishing poles can be purchased for the low price of just 5,000 units. You only need one, so it's just a one-time purchase, and then you'll be on your way to making money. You can also purchase the bait at the store too. There are all sorts of different types of baits, with each bait doing a slightly different job. The types of fish that we catch can be categorized into 2 different sections, the normal fish and the item fish. The normal fish are the fish themselves, so when you catch the fish, you are able to keep it and do all sorts of different things with it. The item fish works slightly different. Instead of getting the fish itself, you get a random item in return. The best baits that I've found in order to get these certain items are the curly grubs and the worms. I tend to use the worms to focus on the normal types of fish because it does a very good job at attracting them, and it also has a chance to attract the rare type of fish as well. The curly grubs will attract item fish and also have a higher chance of attracting rare item fish too. Both of these baits are relatively cheap in price, so you're not really going to have a trouble buying a whole bunch of them at once. I do see a lot of people who use the Mighty Ball fishing bait too. This is a very expensive bait which has a chance of attracting every single type of fish in the game, but because it's so expensive, I really don't think it's worth it. It's better to just focus on one type of fish and save yourself some money. And if you don't like buying a whole bunch of baits at once, you can also purchase a lure. This is a one-time purchase of 30,000 units, but keep in mind that once you purchase it, you will not be able to attract the rare fish of any variety. Once you have everything in order, feel free to check out and get ready to go fishing. There are 4 different sections in the plaza where you are able to go and fish, but keep in mind that it does not matter which section you go to because each section can reward the exact same fish. The only reason you would choose one area over another is just because of the way it looks. In order to get started fishing, we just have to equip our fishing pole. So simply open up the item menu and then go to the Others tab, where you can select your fishing rod and equip it to an open slot. Once you have your pole out, you just have to select a bait and get ready to cast it out. Now that we have our bait selected, we can simply cast out into the water. Once we do this, a whole bunch of fish will begin to spawn right by our bait. Pay attention to the emotion of the fish, because once a fish is attracted to the bait, you will see that it is attracted with the exclamation mark. You have the ability to drag the bait around a little bit in order to move the fish or to move your bait to get a little bit closer to the fish. But keep in mind that if you move it too much, the fish will begin to get annoyed and they will go away. Once a fish is interested in your bait, the best thing to do is just leave your bait alone and let it nibble. When the fish has a little heart above its head, that means it's attracted to the bait and it's going to start to bite at it. Even if the fish is attracted to the bait, you must wait until it has the teeth marks above it in order to click on the mouse. Otherwise, you'll just end up scaring the fish away. Once you see the little teeth marks appear, that's when you can click down on the mouse and start reeling in the fish. This fish is rated as a very hard difficulty. As you can tell, it takes quite a bit of time in order to get it to go over. But watch out for that line stress, because if it builds up too much, that means the line is going to snap and the fish will get away. If that happens, you've lost your bait and also the fish. Now that we have this fish hooked, it's time to reel it in. It's rated as a difficulty of easy, meaning that it will come in very fast. Now that we've caught the fish, we're able to see exactly what it is. This is a rabbit fish, which is of the common variety, and we have the choice to either keep the fish, which can be used in our condos for decorations, or we could sell the fish too. Personally, I tend to keep every single fish that I catch. Now you may have some questions as to why I was calling certain fish more difficult to reel in than the other fish. And well, that's very simple, because different fish will award you with different amounts of experience points. Every time you catch a fish, you will be rewarded with a certain amount of experience points. That amount of experience points will correlate to the difficulty of the fish that you have caught. The higher difficulty rating that these fish have, the more experience points that they will award for you. Very hard fish like this one here will take a little bit more time to reel in, but when I do, I will gain 750 experience points from them. There are 4 different difficulties of fish that you can catch in Tower Unite. There are easy, medium, hard, and very hard difficulties. The easy fish will reward you with 300 experience points when you reel them in. The medium fish will reward you with 400. The hard fish will be 500, and the very hard fish will be 750 experience points. Because the goal is to get 1 million experience, this means that we need to reel in a whole bunch of different fish. And if you're wondering just what kinds of fish that there are to catch in the game, well, you just simply have to open up your encyclopedia, go on the fish section, and you can see all the different types of fish that are in the game. There are all sorts of different types of fish in the game, so many in fact, that I have not been able to see all of them yet myself. You can even take a look at the other types of fish that you get from item fish, as well as the items themselves. These fish can be classified as common, less common, rare, and super rare. So that means that we have a whole bunch of different fish to catch. But just how much better is it to focus on the rare fish compared to the normal fish? Well, that's a question that we are going to answer. In order to test this out, I caught 100 of every single type of fish by catching 100 small fish, 100 large fish, 100 rare fish, 100 item fish, and 100 rare item fish. I was able to document all the different types of fish that I was able to catch and classify them by the rarity of the fish that was rewarded. I also made sure to take note of the difficulty of the fish as well, because if one specific type of fish were to reward more difficult fish in general, then that means that it would probably be better to try and focus on those in order to get the most experience. So, what exactly was I able to figure out? So, when it came to the small fish, I was able to catch 53 common variety, 31 less common, 10 of the rare fish, and 6 of the super rare fish. The large fish were much stranger, giving me 71 of the common fish, 29 of the less common fish, and 0 of the rare or super rare variety. The rare fish gave me a much different result, with 17 common fish, 11 less common fish, 51 of the rare fish, and 21 of the super rare fish. So, as you can see, it is kind of strange, but the small fish and the rare fish were the only ones to give me rare and above, whereas the large fish were not able to do either of those. The rare fish also outperformed the small fish greatly by drastically reducing the number of common fish that I was able to catch. For the item fish, I was able to get 78 of the common variety, 14 of the less common ones, and 8 of the rare ones. The rare item fish only did slightly better at 51 common fish, 14 less common, and 35 rare. So, even though the rare fish gave me a lot more of the rare items, I still got the same number of less common items, and a whole bunch of common items to go along with it. The change was minimal, but it was definitely something that showed over time. But what about the difficulty of each of the fish? You would assume that each of these difficulties would be somewhat randomized, and if you assumed that, you would be mostly correct. When it came to catching small fish, 26 of them were of the easy difficulty, 25 were medium, 20 were hard, and 29 were very hard. Compared to the large fish, 24 of them were easy, 30 were medium, 26 were hard, and 20 were very hard. The rare item fish had 27 easy fish, 23 medium fish, 29 hard fish, and 21 of the very hard fish. For the normal item fish, 22 of them were easy, 30 were medium, 22 were hard, and 26 were very hard. And for the rare item fish, 21 of them were easy, 32 of them were medium, 25 were hard, and 22 were very hard. When you look at a chart of all of them together, I think it's pretty clear to say that there's no real difference in the types of difficulty of each fish. Certainly getting the rare fish or the rare item fish did not seem to yield more difficult fish in general. For me, I did catch slightly more medium difficulty fish, but these numbers are still pretty close to each other, so I'm not going to say that it's conclusive at all. I did happen to catch a lot more of the medium fish, but not really that much more to be of any statistical significance. Now with all this information, you would probably like to see what a full chart looks like of all the fish and all the items that you can get in the game. Lucky for all of us, there are some sites that have the entire encyclopedia posted, so I will post the entire encyclopedia up on the screen right now. So if you happen to be missing out on a few different items or a few different fish, hopefully that chart was able to help you. And using all the previous information, I hope you have a good idea as to which types of baits you should use in order to catch certain types of fish. Also keep in mind that when you fish, sometimes catching the normal fish will help you out a bunch too. Don't just go for the rare ones, sometimes the common ones are the ones that you might be missing. And so there you have it, all the information on all the different types of fish in Tower Unite. And with so many different types of fish to catch, there will always be something out there for you to continue to search for. And as for me, I'll be down here looking for that cosmic fish.